So I'm thinking of fixing a few issues with my doors. The first problem is that to open them, you really have to pull hard on them. So if I lift the handle, it does, the door comes out, but it's still, you know, it's only in the first stage of the opening process. So you have to hold it and then open it. And then if you close it, you have to push quite hard for it to close. So yeah, and also the doors are very heavy. I'm not sure if that's normal or not, but they take a lot of force to swing open, and you can sort of hear a rubbing noise when you open them. So I'm not sure if that's the door check, normal operation of the door check, or something else. So yeah, I want to fix that. And also I have a friend from Beamer Forums who came over to visit me from Montreal with his 750 IL, and his handles were really nice, because when you pulled on them, the door literally popped at you. You know, there was a sort of a springiness to it, whereas my doors are a bit lazy, and it's not as nice. First thing I tried was to lubricate the lock mechanism with some white lithium grease, and that did not do anything. And the hinge, well, not the hinge, but the mechanism looked to be already well lubricated, because I could see some grease, some fresh grease in there. So if I place it in different positions, so this would be the first stage, and then this is the locked stage. You know, it holds fine, and it seems to move properly. But if I unlock the door, I mean, if I open the door using the exterior handle, it comes out, but I have a feeling that it should come out, you know, more rapidly, you know, like a rapid snap. I think the issue will be with the lock mechanism, because from what I read online, from the factory, BMW put grease in it, you know, to oil it and ensure proper operation. But over time, you know, the grease hardens. You know, same thing with the telescoping steering wheel. I ran into, you know, it's just frozen, stuck. So I have a feeling that if I take out the lock mechanism and then clean it, remove the old grease and re-grease it, it probably will function good as new. So that's what I'll do, and I have no credit for that idea. I saw it on the Beamer forums, you know, reading some threads about it. Shogun was suggesting that, a good member there. So, you know, I'll try that. I think I have to remove this door panel, and yeah, a few screws. There's a screw there, which I know of after looking at the Bentley manual. So yeah, I'll try to do that and film it as I go along. So I'll be following the Bentley manual for the door panel removal, and the first step is to remove the ashtray. I think you just pull on it. Next, I need to remove the wood trim from the door panel. Same thing for this one. And of course, the clip broke inside, so I'll have to order a new one. This tab right here is what broke on the clip that stayed in the door. I had to pull it with needle nose pliers, but yeah, so I'll have to order a new one. Removing the wood trim revealed two 8mm bolts that need to be removed in order to take off the door panel. So there is one here and another one hiding in there. For reference, the longer bolt goes in this hole here, and the this shorter bolt goes there. The next step is to remove the door lock post, and it's done simply by unscrewing it. So now is the part I don't like, which is to actually unclip the door panel. To do that, I'm using a putty knife wrapped in duct tape. You know, it's wider than a screwdriver, so there's better leverage, and the tape is just to not damage the paint. So I'll try that, and let's see how many clips I manage to not break. Not bad. I don't think I've broken any clips. Pretty good. Alright, I think that's all of them. So these upper clips were a bit of a challenge because they were really hard to pull, but you know, you have to put your fingers in here and pull towards you. You don't pull up or down or anything, just towards you, and use a lot of force. Start here, and for me, all these clips were removed when I pulled here, and then I simply had to pull here like this to undo this clip here. So now I'll try to lift the door panel. There is one more retaining clip hidden behind here, and then the panel will be free. I'll try to remove it now. Oh, there you go. So yeah, you definitely have to pull up, but yeah, you don't use extreme force here. So this window switch was really giving me a hard time because of the position. It's quite tricky. You need a good light, and you also need a good, well, a flathead screwdriver to lift this tab, this one here in the center, and then you can remove the upper portion of the connector. Then if you come down here, there is also a tab at the bottom there that you need to undo before you can remove the connector. So it's a big pain, a bit annoying. The handle cable, however, is very simple to remove. You just unhook this well, hook from the grommet over here, from this hole. Then you need to remove the connector to the puddle light. I find that it's easier to just push out the light by squeezing these two tabs, and then it will fall out. It's still connected, but then you can easily put a small flathead screwdriver in here and just pry out the connector. There are no tabs or anything, it just simply slides out. The last connector is this one. I'm not sure what it's for, but it's in the way, and I need to disconnect it. I assume you just pull the two halves and it should disconnect. Yep, this is how you disconnect it. You just pull on it and the smaller part comes out of this part here. Looks like I'll need to use some contact cleaner for these pins. Looks a bit crusty. This is what the door looks like with the panel removed. I'm surprised that it's so clean. You know, I can see some oil down there, so maybe it was treated before the winter time. I don't know, but yeah. So this is the door lock mechanism that I need to remove to clean it. So according to the Bentley manual, I need to remove this screw here, and then get the rod out of these holders, and then I should be able to remove the lock mechanism after removing these two hex bolts, which I've already removed, and this one back here too. I wanted to show how to remove these black clips as well as this white pivot thing, because I could not find the information online either in written form or in a video. So here we go. This clip, you need to grab a pair of needle nose pliers, go inside like this, like behind. Hang on, I'll just turn it. Yeah, so you put it like this, and then you can squeeze the two tabs and get it out. For this clip, it was a bit more problematic, because if you have the window fully closed, you can grab a long flathead screwdriver and put it up here, and then you can push on the upper tab like this. You know, when it's clipped, it's turned this way, right? So you can push up there, but then you can't reach the lower tab because this X brace is in the way. So what I had to do is reconnect temporarily the door panel window switch using this connector here, and just lower the window a bit, maybe, as you can see, like 2 inches, something like that, just so you get more clearance. So then you can come here at the top, and then you can insert your screwdriver at the bottom here, and then you can see, so you can push the tab right here, and then it pops out. So a bit more work, but you know, you don't have to snap the connector. You can just have it touching the contacts, use the switch, turn off the key, and here you go. So yeah, now it's fully freed, and this pivot you remove by just sticking a flathead screwdriver behind it. You know, it will be here like that, like this. You just put a flathead screwdriver behind and just pop it out, and this is the sort of rivet, plastic rivet thing that is holding it. Of course, you have to remove the plastic screw first. So yeah, quick tip on how to remove these really annoying black clips. So we are a few weeks later. I had some setbacks with this project because I could not get the lock mechanism out of the door here. And the issue was that I was trying to follow the Bentley manual, and in this case it wasn't a good idea, because it was too simple. It just said to unscrew it and then remove the lock mechanism from the inside. I don't think they did the procedure themselves. They just wrote maybe the same thing as the front door, I don't know, but for the rear doors, that's not what you have to do. So in order to remove the lock mechanism from the rear doors, someone on the BMW forum pointed out that you have to remove the entire window regulator assembly. It's a sub-assembly. Thankfully, it's not riveted to the door. You can remove it just by removing some bolts. but the lock mechanism is riveted to it, so you do have to get it out of the car. So what I did was I lowered the window all the way down, and then I unclipped the window from the rail using these metal clips. So you slide them out. It's pretty simple. And then I grabbed the window and slid it all the way up and held it with some duct tape. So that meant that the regulator was free to be taken out. And then you have to make sure that the wire clips are all out. They're a bit finicky and annoying to deal with, and there's a few of them, but you have to be careful and remove them to remove the sub-assembly. So this is the assembly I was talking about. It's held in place with four bolts, I think, and yeah, so it includes the motor, the linkages, and the window regulator, and there's also a felt strip here for the window to slide in. The other one is still in the door. So this is the piece that I wanted. It's the lock mechanism, and it's held by two rivets that go right here. So this is how the lock mechanism is held in place. Usually there would be two rivets here that you can drill out, and yeah, these are the bits that are drilled out. And once it is free, you can remove it and work on it separately. There is some sticky residue here. You know, it's sort of held in place in the door with this glue, and also with the three bolts. You know, there's one here that goes here, and then the two others, one here and one here. Since I was going to clean the rear lock mechanism, I decided to remove the front one as well, and thankfully it was an easier process at the front. You have to, of course, remove the door panel. This connector here is quite annoying to remove because you have to remove the window, the door mirror switch, and it's very tight in there. But once it's out, you can remove the door panel. Same process as the rear door panel. And then there is also a window rail on the inside here that is held with one bolt right here. And once it's out, you can remove the lock mechanism from the rear. This time it's only held with these three bolts and some glue, but it's much easier to remove at the front, thankfully. And I also removed the connector for the solenoid and also the solenoid itself, and you have to unhook also a cable on the inside that I will show. This is the front lock mechanism. It's similar to the rear one, but for this one you have to unhook a cable from this plastic piece, and I was sure I was going to break it, but no, you know, it's still fine. And you have to wedge a flathead screwdriver in this this line here and free the cable. It's pretty simple. And yeah, also I ordered some grommets from BMW to replace these grommets here. They are rubber, I think, and they will break eventually. They just they harden and they crack, and once it falls, your cables are no longer hooked securely in the lock mechanism. So at any moment, the rod here or this Bowden cable could become undone, and then you know, no matter if you try to to open the door, it doesn't work. So if you have the door panel removed, it's a good idea to replace them. They're only a few dollars for all of them, so it's worth taking the time to replace them. So the next step is to take both lock mechanisms, remove the small grommets and rods and cables, and then submerge them in kerosene. That should hopefully clean up some of the hard grease, remove them, and after that I will lubricate them with some chain lubricant, and that will help to make the operation smooth. So hopefully that will help a lot.